Hey everyone, my name is Aileen Wu. I am an Olympic weightlifting coach, and this is my reaction to the 2020 CrossFit Games Men's Snatch Ladder. Here we go. So before we review the actual snatch speed ladder, let's talk about it, okay? So on the scheme of things, we have barbell cycling and we have your max Ollie lifts. They're kind of completely different sports, almost completely different lifts. Like your Isabella or Grace, 30 reps per time, and your 1 rep max, give it your all, let's see everything you have. Where does the snatch speed ladder fall? It falls closer to this spectrum. And I actually really like this event. It's actually really similar to a 1 RM like max lift in that it's pretty heavy, right? Like back a couple years ago at the CrossFit Games, girls were going for 195, 200, 205. So at 185 your max lift, it's pretty damn close, but it does continue to test how good you are at your positions, and are you good enough? Is your margin of error big enough that you can just walk up to a barbell, have it not be exact, pick up the bar and go, and within what, 5 to 20 seconds, pick up the next barbell and do the same thing even though it's heavier. I know it's really heavy for a lot of people, but for these athletes, even with the work they've done, it's not that heavy, and they still have time to get tight on the bar and lift. So it's testing your capacity, it's testing your margin of error, and it's testing how well you know the movement. So I actually really like this event. It's gonna be a little difficult to react because we don't have quite the ideal angles for us to watch it, but it's gonna be a fun event. It's still gonna test their knowledge, their strength, their knowing of the lifts. And the people who win it, honestly, are probably the same people that would have won if it were 1 RM. So here we go, let's get these lifts. Here we go, men's first round. 3, 2, 1, go! Not quite.
Quarterfinal underway.
Here we go, guys, on the barbell. Wow, everyone did this pretty well. 225. 235. You see that really quick early arm bend by Jeff Adler. Really pretty close here on the first round, though. Looks like Jeff actually has that first. Who's gonna cross the line first? Looks like Matt, then Jeff. Then I think Sam Kwant at the end. Yes, I was right. All right, here we go. Matt, notice slow to fast, really smooth, keeps it really close, 245. No big deal. I don't even think I'm gonna dig into that. That was so clean. Noah Ohlsen, feet on the bar, hands on bar. That's not bad either. Oh, but not secured. Let's talk about this. Notice how loose he is in pulling himself under the barbell. Notice how passive he is. That cost him that first rep. Let's do this slower. All right, Noah Ohlsen, 245, first attempt. I'm gonna go and just go ahead and take a stance here, and if I get some hate for it, so be it. But my stance is Noah Ohlsen's Ollie lift should be much higher for his strength and for his level as a CrossFit athlete. I think if his Ollie lifts were higher, his overall game would be that much more improved, and he's actually not that far off. So here we go, feet under the bar, the race to get the hands to bar. I think he's narrow. For as tall and as long as he is, I'm not sure why he's this narrow. Maybe because it helps him be more secure under the barbell when it's overhead, but I think that problem could be solved by pulling on the barbell the whole way. But here we go, picks the barbell off the ground, stays over the bar, stays over the bar, but you notice his body weight's already coming forward on his toes. So from that sense, he's imbalanced, and his butt will come up a little bit. Here he looks like he's resolved it a little bit. He looks more mid-foot than towards the back. Notice he's early arm bending, a little bit of this action happening. He's coming up with the barbell. His hips are moving forward to meet that barbell. He's got that big early arm bend, jumping up and back. He's not fully over the bar. He's not engaged here. He's let that go a little bit into that extension. He pulls it up. Right here is where he's loose. His hands are on the bar, but he's loose on the barbell. He pulls himself under. The bar is a little forward of him, and here it comes crashing down on him. You know it's a little forward of him because he has to careen forward to try to secure it, and he doesn't stabilize it before he stands, and it's this sloppiness that cost him the lift. That part right there. If he were more secure on the barbell, pulling himself under the barbell, was more patient at the bottom to sit with it and make sure he had it before he stood up, I think he could have had it the first time. Regardless, here we go, 245, second attempt. Feet under the barbell, he doesn't really take time. I guess he knows this is fine. But notice he goes to pick up the bar. It's a very slack, like it's a little sloppy. He goes to pick up the barbell. It looks like there's an early arm bend starting off already on the left side, more than the right at this point, over the barbell. It doesn't shift forward on his toes as much, this one. Again, you see all that space between him and that barbell here. Notice he's already starting to look straight, look up and give up that core a little bit here. He goes to extend. When he extends, because he's early arm bending and he's here, he's extending here as opposed to being over the barbell and extending here. Look, notice the difference in height. Notice the difference in distance between me and the barbell. But he goes to extend here. It's close enough, and notice when he receives the barbell on this one, he really makes an effort of punching his body through, his upper body over the plane of the barbell, because it's forward of him and he wants to be able to stabilize it more. It's not ideal, but it puts you under the barbell more, so in terms of being centered under the weight, it is more stable, and that helped him make that lift. Stands up with the barbell, runs it in, 245. Justin Medeiros, 245, feet under the bar, stays over the bar, doesn't give it enough extension at the end. Can't tell if he kept it tight enough on his thigh. He kept it closer on that one, gave it a little bit more of a pop, but the extension is very shallow. There's not a lot of it. Let's watch it again. Feet under the bar, he's in a race. Granted, the first round was really close. He goes to pick up the barbell. There's no slack, love it. It doesn't look like his butt's coming up first. He's staying over the bar, but here, it doesn't look like it's close enough to him. I can't tell, but either way, his hips have shifted forward. He doesn't get that full extension. It's very short. It's not long enough, and he didn't get quite enough height or enough speed on that barbell to make it the first time. So let's watch the second one. Justin Medeiros, 245, feet under the barbell, hands on barbell. Doesn't look where his feet are, but maybe he doesn't need to. Gets tight enough, but doesn't careen forward, weight doesn't come forward on toes. But here he does a better job of standing up with that barbell, keeping it tight, so he gets more length going into that extension, a lot more length, and that gave him enough verticalness on it that he was able to pull himself under and receive that barbell. Let me talk about a little bit what I mean by in terms of riding the thigh and getting length. From here, in terms of riding the thigh, what I mean is keeping that barbell against you so that when you extend, you get all of this height. When it's time to extend, I'm here. I'm like an inch off this lower gold line, right? If the butt comes up first and the barbell's away from me, what tends to happen is the hips will shift forward, and I end up having to extend early because my hips are already forward. And then from here, if I jump, look, the barbell is here compared to here. What some people do in response to that is the hips will come back forward early, and then they'll make a point to sit on their heel and really rock, and then stand and extend that way. It does give you a little bit more height, but it's not as strong as if you were over the barbell, lats tight, really riding your thigh that whole way into this extension, right? So that's what I mean by jumping early and riding the thigh. But anyway, Justin Medeiros, good job, 245. Thanks for watching my reaction to this part of the 2020 Snatch Speed Ladder. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe below. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. If you'd like to hit me up and work with me, check me out at www.wulift.com. Thanks guys, have a great day. Like, bye!